All through that night, Agu couldn't sleep. He kept thinking. All of a sudden, Agu changed from the loving father and husband to a very responsible man. Agu was walking on the road when a madman approached him. The madman was begging him for money. Agu gave him some money out of pity. The madman said thank you. As Agu was leaving, the madman said to him, "You are a good man. That thing you are looking for is closer than you think. The one close to you is not the real thing. You are dining with the enemy. Shine your eyes." Once upon a time, there lived a man called Agu. He was a wealthy man. He was married to a woman called Adaora. Agu loved Adaora so much because she was part of his success story. Agu married Adaora when he had nothing. Even though Adaora had richer suitors at that time, she still believed in Agu and loved him so much. Her parents did not want her to marry him because they felt she had better options. But Adaora told them that love was not about money, as her peace of mind and sanity came first. Agu was a carpenter. He would work all night and Adaora was always there to support him. Adaora at times even helped to market his product. After a while, things started getting better. Agu had a contract to supply the village primary school furniture. That was his big break. He came back home dancing. His wife was so happy for his success. Before you know, more contracts came, and that is how Agu became the owner of the biggest furniture company in Isialo. Agu and Sons was a big furniture company that even had customers in the city because he used the best of quality wood. Soon, he became the favorite of his in-laws that once despised him. He showered his wife with lots of things in appreciation for her resilience and devotion. Agu and Adaora were blessed with two beautiful daughters, Adobe and Adane. At first, Agu loved them so much, but later things started changing when Agu was supposed to be given a chieftaincy title, but was denied because, according to the chiefs, he had no son, and it was the village custom that before you become a chief, you must have a son. A son is believed to be your next of kin that will continue to bear the family name after you leave. Agu felt pain that he was denied the chieftaincy title that he so desired. As from that day, the thought of having a son was in his mind. His wife Adaora soon got pregnant again, and he was so happy. He said to himself that this is all I have been waiting for. He said in his mind that at least after his son was born, he will go and collect his chieftaincy title. He was so eager to know the sex of the baby even before the child was born. So he took his wife to the hospital, and after the scanning, the doctor revealed the sad news that it was a girl again. Agu could not hide his disappointment. As they drove back home, Agu was silent. All his plans were just imaginations, he thought. That night, he didn't eat as he didn't have appetite for food. One day, Agu had a quarrel with a man, and the man insulted him that he might be richer than him, but they still were not mates, as he had 4 sons and Agu only had 2 daughters. That he had a next of kin, unlike him that was just compensated with girls that he is not even sure were his children. Agu felt so pained with these words. All through that night, Agu couldn't sleep. He kept thinking. All of a sudden, Agu changed from the loving father and husband to a very responsible man. He started keeping late nights, and whenever Adaora complained, he would shout at her. Adaora suspected that something was not right. So she did her investigations and discovered that Agu was seeing another woman called Ifeoma. Adaora confronted Ifeoma, and Ifeoma confirmed that she was truly dating Agu because Agu found her more attractive, unlike her that has nothing to offer aside giving birth to girls, she said. Adaora even noticed that Ifeoma was pregnant, and Ifeoma confirmed that the pregnancy was for Agu. Adaora was so heartbroken and she cried like a baby. When Ifeoma met Agu that night, she told him how his wife has confronted her, that his wife came to her house with thugs to beat her up. She started pretending to be crying and that she was tired of playing hide and seek and she wanted everything to be official. That it is forbidden for ladies in their household to give birth out of wedlock. Agu had no option than to ask Ifeoma to move into the house. Adaora once perfect life became miserable as Agu now gave all his attention to his new wife, especially after Agu confirmed from the same doctor that Ifeoma was carrying a male child. Agu practically worshipped her. One day, Adaora came back from the market and met her daughters crying. And when she asked, they told her that Ifeoma beat them. "What did you do?" she asked. Adobe said she asked her to give her water, and she gave her water in a plastic cup instead of a glass cup. And that was why she beat both of them, because she said they were both the same. Adaora confronted Ifeoma and they had a serious quarrel. Ifeoma pushed her on the floor. At that time, Adaora was already 8 months pregnant. When Agu came back, Ifeoma lied that Adaora and her children attacked her and beat her up, and that she wanted them out of the house. She started crying and reminding him that, "You know, I'm carrying your only son and you sure do not want anything to happen to him." That night, Agu threw Adaora and her children out of the house. Adaora pleaded for him to consider her condition, but Agu refused. As Adaora was leaving, she started crying. Ifeoma peeped from the window and started laughing. Then Agu and Ifeoma started living together. Ifeoma took charge of everything Agu owned. She managed the furniture business. On one occasion, she sacked 2 workers the same day because, according to her, they didn't greet her well. She was very hostile to the workers and even customers too. Not too long, Agu's business started going down and the contracts were not coming in again like before. Agu's life was not the same again, as she made him cook for her. Anytime he tried to complain, she would tell him that he should remember she's having a son for him. Agu never bothered to ask for Adaora and his daughters, because anytime he tried to bring up the topic, Ifeoma would dismiss it that she will be fine. After all, of what use is a woman that can only give birth to girls? Agu, a once respected man in the village, now became someone that the villagers made jest of. Ifeoma requested for the doctor to come check up on her regularly for antenatal, that she was too weak to be going to the hospital, and Agu agreed. One day, Agu was walking on the road when a madman approached him. The madman was begging him for money. Agu gave him some money out of pity. The madman said thank you. As Agu was leaving, the madman said to him, "You are a good man. That thing you are looking for is closer than you think. The one close to you is not the real thing. You are dining with the enemy. Shine your eyes." As he said these words, he started laughing and took his leave. All through the night, Agu was thinking about the words of the madman. He kept thinking about what the madman said. The doctor was coming often to treat Ifeoma. One evening, Ifeoma cooked Agu's favorite meal and served him. This was so unusual because it had been long since she prepared a meal for him. Agu loved egusi soup and pounded yam, so he was practically salivating. After eating, he was relaxing when all of a sudden he started feeling pains in his stomach. He started screaming and rolling on the floor. Ifeoma ran out. He asked Ifeoma to help him, to take him to the hospital, that he was dying. All of a sudden, Ifeoma started laughing. Ifeoma said, "I'm sorry, I cannot help you. You have to die for me to live the life of my dreams." Agu was surprised. Then he asked, "What about our son?" Again, Ifeoma laughed. "What son?" she asked. "What I have inside of me is a girl, and you are not her father." Agu was dumbfounded. "So who is the father?" Just then, the doctor walked in from the room. "I am the father. We just want you to know the truth before you die, because your food was poisoned, and you have limited time to live. It all started the day you came to the beer parlor and complained about how you desired a son. I was listening, and since I know you were very rich, I devised a plan with my girlfriend Ifeoma, who was then 2 weeks pregnant for me. Foolishly, you fell for her, and the day you brought your wife Adaora for scan, I told you it was a girl, whereas it was a boy, because I didn't want anything to spoil our plans." Agu shouted, "Oh my God, my innocent wife, what have I done? We are responsible for all the missing monies in your business. We need to save for our unborn baby. We need to give her the best of life." He laughed. Agu stood up and started smiling. Ifeoma and the doctor were surprised. Agu told them that the food she served him was inside the dustbin, because he already knew their plans. That on a particular day, after leaving for the office, he realized midway that he forgot his office key at home. So he came back home and met the sitting room door open. And when he walked to the room door, he heard voices. And then he peeped and saw her and doctor cuddled on the bed, and his heart was heartbroken. So he said he listened to their conversations That was when he heard the plan to eliminate him and how they had decided it was going to be through food poison, and that he only played along because he wanted to see the end. Informer and the doctor could not believe what they just heard. Immediately they tried to escape, but Agu already invited the police. Informer and her lover were arrested. The next day, Agu went to Adaora's village to look for her. Her parents drove him away, never to look for their daughter again, that they do not know where she is and they don't want to see him around again. Agu had to go again, this time with his people, to beg. He felt so sorry and foolish for his actions. Just then, Adaora walked in, carrying a handsome baby boy. Agu ran up to her to hug her, and they both started crying. Agu knelt down and started begging that he was deceived because of his quest for a son, that life has not been the same again, that things have been tough since she left him. He told her the story of what happened and exactly what Informer did to him. Adaora still loved him so much. Agu held his son and started crying. "Oh, my son, I'm sorry for neglecting you all these years." His daughters saw him and they ran up to him. He started apologizing too, begging them. Agu finally reconciled with his family and things started picking up again gradually. When the chiefs heard he had his son now, they approached him again with the chieftaincy title. He declined this time and said, "I almost destroyed my family and business because of this title. I do not want again, please. Let me just live my life peacefully, without ceremonies. I will be fine." His business, Agu and Sons, started progressing again, and they lived happily ever after.